Hey guys, it's your girl Rose with AKA Rosarita. Today we're going to talk about buying used cars. Somebody just got busted for selling used cars on Marketplace with fraudulent titles and rollback miles. What did I say? I said this before. You got to be careful. You got to be careful who you're buying your cars from. I personally would not buy a used car from somebody off of the internet. I would go to a dealership, and of course, I would be asking for the it's some kind of Fox report. I forget what they call it, but anyway, you know who I'm talking about. You want to get it at the dealership because a lot of times they will give you some kind of warranty, okay? And the car is supposed to have been looked over, as they say, their 3 or 5 point inspection. And even so, I'd say I want my mechanic to come in and look at that as well, because if I'm not going to pay for 3 years or 2 years for a used car that's going to fall apart when I drive off the lot. So people are being arrested. And the only way you can really tell whether or not you're getting a halfway decent deal is you need to pay attention. So if you're looking at buying a used car, and these are some of the tricks that they do that you're not going to see. Here in Nevada, you have to smog your car every year. I think everywhere, but every year. So now that you're buying the car for, say, 3 to 5 years, depending on the year of the car, they will roll back the miles on the car. They say sometimes it's easier to roll back the miles now because they're electronic. What you're going to do is you're going to go to DMV. Of course, the Fox, like I said, I'm not really into that. I mean, yeah, they pull it up too. But the only thing with that is, and hear me out, that report only shows you when the car had maintenance. So if the car doesn't have any maintenance, say for instance it's a GM, a Buick or whatever, has it been to the dealership? The dealership would have maintenance on that car. If they don't have any maintenance on that car, then the car has not had any maintenance. Now, the other thing would be if, how can I say this? You had an accident. If you had an accident, it's going to be reported to the insurance company if you had insurance, right? You don't see any insurance on it, a report on it? Nope. And I've seen cars riding around with two different, in the shade, you can see that something happened, an accident, because the car door on one side will be, it'll be a shade difference, okay, from the front to the back of the car. And it's like that car has had an accident because the paint job is not correct on it. I'm from back in the hood days, so I know about these things. So, okay, don't judge me. Here's another thing. Did you know that even though you have to smog your car, you can pass a catalytic converter test and you won't even know that it's a bad catalytic converter on your car because they will reset it. You can reset it and get there before the 15 or 20 miles before the engine light comes back on. And just before I sell it to you, I'm going to make sure to redo the engine, the code, because there's a code that they set that will take that off of there. You'll never know it. You ride around the car thinking, oh, this car is great. But you got a bad catalytic converter, and they can cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 to replace. Okay? Like I said, accident, all these things, if you take your car to a dealership, it's going to show up on that report, the Fox, whoever that is, I forget what they call it, report, and the DMV. So, if the car hasn't been registered in 2 years and they say, oh, it's in perfect condition or whatever, well, why hasn't it been driven? Oh, it belonged to my grandma or grandpa and they only went to bingo or whatever. Bull. Don't go for it. Don't go for it. I'm just saying. You got to be careful. It's your money. And people don't care. Right now, we're in a tight situation and people will sell you anything to get money. And they have no conscience. Okay, so make sure that if you're buying a used car, I would go to a dealership and I'd be looking for something with a warranty, not buying from someone off of Marketplace or something like that off the side of a lot on the street because you get what you pay for. And I'm sorry, I just say it like it is. It's rough out here. I know you want a car, but sometimes you can drain your bank account with something like this, because you drive away with it and they're laughing all the way to the bank. They're like, that's it. And don't get pulled over with fraudulent title, the title for the car. The title's not real. So there you go again. We got a lot of things going on, guys. You got to pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Okay? Especially in buying a car or buying a used car. I would rather go to a dealership, I think, and just go on and buy myself a used car at a dealership, or buy myself a new one. Right now, the prices are high. I know I've said this before. But if your credit is good, you can get a lease. You can lease a car. Okay? And you don't have to worry about anything. Just maintain the regular stuff, such as tires, brakes, oil changes, basically. And at the end of your lease, as long as you're not over the miles, unless you buy additional miles, you get a car back to them, okay? And if you have a business, it's a write-off. Guys, you gotta learn how to play it, please. What I want you to do, though, is keep watching me, because I always got something to tell you, somewhere to save you some money. Of course, I want you to subscribe to my site, Rosarita Yes I Said It -A, the number 2, Z, here on YouTube. Later. Bye-bye.